ask questions? Is that the idea? Great. Okay. Good afternoon. I think you ask questions and I answer then. Is that the best? So. Sir. Hi.
You are here in Japan, which leans heavily on its alliance with the US for its security. And yet we've seen in recent days President Trump saying allies today may not be allies in the future. He's launched a trade war which spares no one, including Japan, has received very high tariffs. I wanted to ask you, how much concern do you have in the US security guarantee and US promises to countries like Japan?
To be honest, I have no worries about these guarantees. We have seen Pete Hegseth, the US Secretary of Defense, visiting. I think it was last week, a very successful meeting. I will hear more about it later today from the Japanese Defense Minister. But from what I've heard and seen, it was a successful visit, basically recommitting to that relationship. And it was the US itself which also asked me, NATO, to become even more involved, not like in Article 5 or anything like that, but in terms of joint defense, industrial capacity, base building, innovations, etc. That's one of the reasons I'm here, to really expand that relationship with the IP4 and now with the biggest IP4 partner, which clearly is Japan, also being the only member of the G7 not in NATO. So this is an important visit, and I'm really very glad that the US is sticking to that relationship with Japan. I think it's very important. Thank you.
Number
2.
Good afternoon.
My name is Hiroshi Mizota with the Japanese newspaper Yomiuri Shimbun. My question is regarding the Ukraine war. What concrete role does NATO expect Japan to play in monitoring the safety after the ceasefire is set? Do you want Japan to dispatch the troops on the ground?
Well, first of all, let me say that Japan is doing a lot at this moment through the comprehensive assistance package, other humanitarian support vis-à-vis Ukraine, and that is really highly appreciated by NATO, by the Ukrainians. So Japan is really very much in a positive way involved. It's difficult to answer your question because that depends on the ceasefire/a peace deal. It's not yet there. And when it is there, we have to see what is the best way to make sure that Ukraine will prevail in the future, that a peace deal, a ceasefire is lasting, is durable. So it's very difficult now to assess. We have a couple of initiatives. The French and the Brits are working on one possible avenue to take it forward after a peace deal, ceasefire. But the problem is there is no peace or ceasefire at the moment. So it's good that countries are thinking about possibilities. But let me now not comment on the best way forward. But really, what Japan is doing so far vis-à-vis Ukraine is highly respected and very important. I think it gone off. It went off. Yeah, or I'll come to you and then listen. Yeah. Maybe do it like this, because this is not working, and then your colleagues cannot hear what you're asking. So, let me. Yeah.
Thank you. So, Sachio from NHK, the public TV station in Japan. Welcome to Japan, first of all. And so, when it comes to maritime security, Japan faces difficulties with China destabilizing the region and not ignoring the international laws. So, is your presence here, your visit here at the Marine Self-Defense Forces, kind of like a message towards China and maybe your support towards Japan?
Thank you so much for the question. More generally, I would argue that we have this cooperation now with Japan, but also with Korea, with Australia, with New Zealand, for many years now. And since a couple of years, we have the foreign ministers, the defense ministers, and the leaders participating in the NATO meeting. So that is important. And of course, it also has to do with the role China is playing. Let's not be naive about that. China is supporting the Russian war effort. China is building up its armed forces, including its navy, at a rapid pace. So we cannot be naive, and we really have to work together, assess what is happening, and therefore I think developing the defense industrial base is so important. That is one of the focal points in my visit here. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. I'll keep it open.
I come from Taiwan.
Taiwan?
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you think about the China's action about the large-scale military drills around Taiwan?
Of course, you know the policies of all allies in NATO, but also when it comes to the IP4 concerning Taiwan, so that you know. And of course we are worried about all these drills and all these military exercises. So we follow them very closely and are a worrying sign, clearly. Sir.
My name is Fukushima, Ships of the World, Japanese monthly magazine. I ask you, the NATO, three NATO navies, British, French, and Italian, carrier strike group, the rotation in the Pacific area. I ask you, what does expect NATO from JMSDF?
Yeah, well, I think it is important that these big allies are working together to make sure that we keep the sea lanes open and that we, in the full spirit of UNCLOS, also respect the free sea lanes in this world. And therefore it is important that the French and the others and the Brits and the Italians, my country, the Netherlands, has participated now and then in these exercises. That is important to really prove the point that we have to keep our seas open. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, I see Regenhuisje from last. How are you doing? Yeah, how are you doing?
Very well.
You are now here. Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. I probably will see each other later.